Oh, my people, not be small thing though. One lawyer don't come out to come interpret this issue of constitution when he claims say person must to win 25% for Abuja before he go qualify say na him go be the president. According to report, they say Tinubu no qualify say because he no win 25% of Abuja. Now Festus Keyamo, when dem dey call Sanda Lilili, himself don come interpret im own o, but wetin im talk is different from wetin dis man talk o. My people, I go like make we watch dis video, make we see wetin dis man talk as im take interpret am, and as Festus Keyamo follow take interpret im own. Make we sit down, make we watch this.
Give us explanation, maybe give me interpretation about this constitution. As in they give am, but before now watching, I want me to hear Festus Keyamo own interpretation. Now no say that one, I don't know whether that's offense now for learning on this thing. Me I listen to wetin Festus Keyamo talk. They can't listen to wetin that senior advocate Sam wetin that one talk. If you now listen to that man, now know say when two people go practice law, the two of them they learn two different things entirely. Listen to the both of them, you go enjoy this video.
Election for the presidential race will be determined. A candidate for an election to the office of president shall be deemed to have been duly elected where there being more than two candidates for the election. Hey, the first instance is that he has the highest number of votes cast at the election, and the B part says he has not less than 1/4 of the votes cast at the election in each of at least 2/3 of all the states in the federation and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. That is where the controversy came. What is your own interpretation? You know, Shóck, you want me to expose our briefs here now, but I'll give you a small expo because here I will not start arguing our case. But let me give you one small expo. You know what we call expo, when we're in school. Now, there's what you call the spirit and the letters of the Constitution, or the letters and the spirit of the Constitution. There's also what you call the community reading of the provisions of any law. What has been long established in our laws is that the Constitution and its provisions must not be read in isolation. These are very elementary principles that all lawyers know, and I'm sure you know that too. Before we came already, I should not refer to you as a law student, but I must refer to you now. You must have heard that in your law class. Because there's a community reading. Is that very serious? You use that? But I mean, it's your intimidation tactic. But you know, it doesn't move me a bit. You're growing now. You're growing. It doesn't move. You're not intimidated again. You know, I'm seeing you as a young lawyer, and how intimidated you were. No. But thank God that you are bolder than you were before. But please go ahead. All right, now. So so those are the two things I've told as a guide to looking at section 134. One, there must be community reading. And there's what they call the spirit and letters of the Constitution. First question to you. The Constitution says everybody in Nigeria is equal for the law. There's equal rights before the law in Nigeria. That you cannot dispute. It's a standard, clear, settled provision of the Constitution. Equality before the law. Secondly, if you say there's equality before the law, and you now say certain voters existing somewhere should now hold what they call the golden card to override all other states in the federation, does that meet the spirit of the Constitution to make everybody equal before the law? You are now making people residents in Abuja higher citizens over and above other citizens of Nigeria. That is what their own warped interpretation is taking us to. That there's a special set of voters in Nigeria. Unless you woo them to that point of 25, you cannot be president of Nigeria. Even if you get up to 36 states, and you clear all, but Abuja will deprive you from becoming president of Nigeria. Is that kind of interpretation, does it accord with the spirit of the Constitution? That is one. I'm not going deeply into the arguments. I'm only giving you peripheral arguments. Secondly, I'm going to tell you. Again, I'm going to come back. Yeah. Read section 134. In conjunction, like I said, Constitution must be read as a community. Then, document. Read it in conjunction with 299. All right. Let's put up 299. Put 299. Put up 299. Which they have been hiding from Nigerians. Read them. So that's what 299. The provision of this constitution shall apply to the federal capital, Abuja, as it were one of the states of the federation. That's all. And accordingly, as if it were. So it means that, does it mean that the constitution sees FCT as the 37th state? Exactly. All you just need to do when you read these two is that section 134, for the purpose of this, for the purpose of that section, it is an inclusive provision. A provision that tries to include Abuja amongst one of the states. In fact, to understand 134 better, just remove the sentence and the FCT Abuja. People would have been asking, if you cut 25% in 2/3 of the states of the federation and you keep quiet, people would have been asking, 2/3 of the states and Abuja. Say, what about Abuja? What about Abuja? So what that last phrase means is just to confirm to people that you calculate Abuja along with it too. That's what it means. Simple. So, in practical terms, let me break it down for Nigerians to understand. In practical terms, it means that if I need to get 25% in 24 states, and I now get 25%, I get 25% in 23 states. And the FCT, what it simply means is that FCT will be calculated as a state so that you have met the requirement. Am I clear? That's in practical terms. That is what it means. I'm trying to calculate, bring it in practical terms for people to understand. That if Asiwaju or Atiku had gotten 23 states, 25%, and they say, you cannot be president, or they say, but he got 25% in FCT too. They say, yes, it's included. It should be treated as a state too. So what it means is not to elevate Abuja and to treat it separately as an elevate it to a status higher than a state. In fact, their interpretation that are bringing to section 134 is an interpretation that even negates the spirit and letters of that particular section that even tries to include Abuja among the states to be calculated. Now, the corollary to this is Washington, D.C. Go and look at the constitutional developments of America. Washington, D.C., is not one of the federated states of America. It's a federal capital territory. And so before... Fighting for statehood. Exactly. Before 1961... the voters in America were not allowed to choose electors, which is the electoral college that determines America's president now. But in 1961, I think it was by the 23rd Amendment of 1961 that they now brought, DC in, and they said they can now choose, I think, 3 electors or so to now take part in the electoral college. So that is the meaning that they were agitating to be treated as one of the other states. So our constitution, therefore, without waiting for that agitation, they adopted, what section 134 did, was to adopt the 23rd Amendment of the American Constitution. That's the meaning. We are going to go into it, history when we argue our case in court. It draws its strength from the 23rd Amendment of the American Constitution that says, treat DC as a state for the purpose of electors. That is what it draws its.
So I've read and listened to so many interpretations of that section, some of which I consider partisan. But I'm of the view that the key word there is "and." It says the 36 states of the Federation and FCT Abuja. When you look at the definition of "and," it means something in addition to or apart from. Which, to me, presupposes that apart from having 25% in 24 states, you must also score 25% in Abuja. And there are so many authorities on this point that had interpreted the word "and." I'm also not unmindful of the cases of Buhari and Inec being bandied around. But you will discover in that case that the issue of whether now President Buhari scored 25% in Abuja never arose. They were only looking at the status of Abuja vis the administrative structure. I'm also aware of the Bakari and Ogundima Bakari case, which some people also had been throwing around. In that particular one, too, they were only looking at
that the administrative structure which Section 299 created and which made Abuja an administrative center as it was intended to be from the beginning. So to now read Section 299 into 1342B, in my own view, is expanding or imputing into what is not in Section 1342B into it. So since the words are very clear, we use the literal rule of interpretation. And since the latter part of that provision specifically mentioned Abuja, it means you construe it in such a way as to exclude the 36 states earlier mentioned. So my own position, subject to what the court eventually decide, is that you will need the 25% in Abuja in addition to scoring 25% in 24 states.
But what about the argument that it was not the intention of the drafters of the Constitution for Abuja to have a special status?
I don't subscribe to that perspective as well. As far as I'm concerned, Abuja has not been given any special status by virtue of Section 1342B. We have similar provisions in the 1979 Constitution, but they did not include Abuja. We have similar provisions in the 1989 Constitution. It also did not mention Abuja. However, you will see that because of the 12th to 3rd crisis, which the Section 126 of the 1979 Constitution threw up, they tried to cure it in the 1989 Constitution by saying that in a situation where there is a fraction, as we had in 79, in Kano in 79, that where there is a fraction, it will be appropriated to the next nearest figure. You could say that the intendment of the drafters of that particular section was to cure the crisis that arose from the interpretation of the 1979 version. In this instance, as at the time the 1999 Constitution was done, the Federal Capital Territory had already been moved to Abuja. Under the 1989 and 79 constitutions, the Federal Capital Territory was still in Lagos. And of course, Lagos was also listed as one of the states of the Federation. However, by the time the 1999 Constitution came into being, Lagos had ceased to be the Federal Capital Territory. It has now become Abuja. So there is a need to include it, not to create a special status. It was just an inclusion. To include it and expand the previous similar provisions in 1979 and 1989. To include Abuja. And let me give you this. Go to the definition sections of the Constitution where the states were listed. Abuja is not